right, guys.
All right.
Blackout hour. You know the vibes. We are here.
Yep.
For another legendary episode. Shout out to everybody that's been tapping in to the blackout. I was out a couple days ago and people was, telling me how much they enjoy blackout. So shout out to everybody that taps in the blackout.
Shout out to all the ladies who hated my take on the girls trip too. Not to cut you off, but I was on a rendezvous the other day. I was like, oh my God, you're the guy who said girls shouldn't go on a girl trip? A girl.
Rendezvous.
Go eat your truffle fries real quick.
Rendezvous play. The rendezvous play. So this show is meant to be different than Market Mondays, Earn Your Leisure. So for all the people that still haven't fully understood that part of it yet, they're like, why would you turn your platform into this? Like, relax. You can still.
How many shares of NVIDIA you buy?
Relax, ladies and gentlemen.
Calm down. And these are financial conversations still.
Facts.
Fauci thing, if you take care of your kids, business, partnerships, like, come on.
So the show is intended, it's an opinion-based show. It's intended to go outside the scope of normal conversations that we may traditionally have on Market Mondays or Earn Your Leisure. And is not suitable most of the time for children, sensitive men, or entitled women. Blackout.
Yep.
We may tell you a joke, but we'll never tell you a lie. Shout out to everybody that has got their InvestFest tickets. Make sure you get your tickets to InvestFest. Vitally important if you want to better your family's future.
And we'll be doing Blackout Live.
For sure.
VIP night, yep.
Oh, that's the first one. And then tomorrow, Troy has his options class for EYL University. So make sure you check that out if you want more of the financial conversations. We have
all these relate back to finances, though. Who you pick as a partner, who you choose to do business with. Dr. Fauci getting $700 million for the Wuhan virus.
That's a fact. That is a fact.
These are all financial conversations.
Ian, anything you would like to say before we get this show going?
Yes. If you want to have a good time, come to Houston this weekend. We are having Red Panda Weekend kicking off Saturday. We'll be at Friends, and then the next day we'll be at camp. Saturday night we'll be at Jolie. So shout to A-Life, shout to Jay. I appreciate you, love you dearly. Shout to Cam. Red Panda family, we're gonna have a good time, make some money, vibe together, and maybe black out a little bit together. Who knows? Yeah.
So also I want to this Saturday we have a ribbon cutting for our basketball and tennis court that we renovated in our neighborhood. So if you want to come out, it's the address is 40 Yosemite Avenue, Greenburgh, New York, 10607. From 1 o'clock, it starts at 1 o'clock, and we're gonna have basketball games, all-star basketball game, high school for girls and boys. We got skills competition for kids. We got food. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good vibe, good family time. So if you're in the area,
putting up some shots out there.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely.
That corner, Jay, lethal boy. Y'all be trying to challenge Shotty and put up that 200.
So yeah, that's dope. So thank you to everybody in advance for showing love, and it's good to do good. It's good to do good. It's a blessing to be a blessing.
To be a blessing, yes.
So do you believe there are machines and technologies that can cure cancer, and can a Rife machine eliminate disease? So all right, let's start with what is a Rife? What it actually is a Rife machine? What does that even mean?
Can we play the video real quick?
For sure.
Have you ever heard of a Rife machine?
Yeah.
So I know you're very familiar with frequency. So I put a Rife machine on. I put it on my feet. Sometimes I put it on my hands. Sometimes I put it on both. So basically, for those listening who don't know what a Rife machine is, a Rife machine sends a series of frequencies through your body. It's kind of holistic medicine.
I just got a Royal delivered to my house, the Royal Rife machine.
Really?
Yeah.
So from what I understand, the Rife machine, it does all kinds of good things for you. It can break up bacteria. It can break up viruses. They say it can break up cancers. Cancer cells. It's also very grounding.
But here in Houston, there's I do believe that there's technologies and medicine that can cure cancer. I think we all know that the secret is out. They're not going to share it with the public. The interesting part about that Rife machine, if you go on YouTube, there's a conversation about it. I think that happened on ABC maybe 12 or 13 years ago. So it gives like certain vibrational patterns. This sounds like something that should be like on high level, right? With Billy and 19. But it's an actual machine that has helped cure some people, but for whatever reason, it's in the basement of the Cancer Research Center and not available to the public. So a lot of times we talk about technological innovations, but I think one day we have to have a conversation about all the technologies that have been bought and been shelved. Like the guys who also made cars that can run off of hydrogen or water, all of a sudden had heart attacks and epilepsies and were unalived in Guatemala, right? So I do think there are technologies that can cure us, because let's be very honest, America makes a lot of money off of us being sick and unhealthy. But I think we need to have a lot more conversations about what we can do to like make these technologies available to help heal and or cure people. I'm not a doctor. My pre-med aspirations went away after my second year at Indiana University. But if you go look at the technology and the patents on it, it is there.
So, okay. So the next question would be, if they have technology that can cure cancer, hypothetically speaking, why would they not make that readily available?
The MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston is 9 million square feet and serves 70,000 patients each year. But deep in the basement of the largest cancer center in the world, our focus is on one man working in a small space.
Every time we ask a question, we find the answer, but it immediately asks 3 or 4 new questions.
This is where we find Dr. Steve Curley. Dr. Curley has spent 18 years at MD Anderson, and his lab has some very expensive tools. There's the $1 million microscope, one of only 2 of its kind in the world. While a microscope might be a lab fixture, this is not.
I should say you have the RF machines here.
Correct. This is John Kansas's device.
It's a radio frequency machine invented by Florida's John Kansas. Skeptical when he saw the first prototypes.
It was pretty rudimentary looking, and I kind of looked at it, and my first thought is, boy, I hope this thing doesn't explode or blow up.
There are now 2 of them in Dr. Curley's lab.
Kick-ass cancer cell generator.
The genius of it is it allows us to create a very potent and a very powerful radio frequency field. And we know that from our own work, that when we put these nanoparticles into cancer cells that we can then put in the field in dishes, that we're able to kill the cells with the radio frequency energy.
Because there's more money in the pill or the treatment. So I remember even as a kid, when my mom and dad would take me to school, we would see like dialysis centers in the hood. And one time my dad got offered to like buy into one. My dad was like, morally, I can't do that because there's a way to treat people without going through that process. And even though he would make a lot of money from it, morally, he didn't feel right with it. And it's the same with cancer. Fiji just had a big issue with all the microplastics being leached into their water supply. Please drink bottled water that is in glass. It's a lot better for you. But if I can sell you a pill or treatments, like when my grandmother, my mom's mom, went through treatment, I remember she telling me like over a course of 3 months, treatments may cost her $100,000. So if I can give you a machine that may cost $20,000, would you rather do that if you are in a nefarious business, or charge you $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 over the course of 3 or 4 years, and then I don't make you better?
So, so can't you just charge more for the cure? Like, let's say the cure, you could charge $100,000 for the cure, right? And still make money, right?
Technically. But if, just like you have a school to prison pipeline, there's a reason why McDonald's, Papa John's, I hope none of these are sponsors at InvestFest, Burger King, are advertised more than healthy eating and juicing and on TV, right? There is an adverse effect. And with GMO, because I know some people are going to be like, well, all food is not healthy. People have the choice to eat healthy. I go back once again. When you go to London, France, Italy, the food there, the gelato we had in that town plaza tasted better than most 3-star restaurants we've been to in the States. the ingredient makeup is different. So like legislatively, there are things that are passed and allowed in our food that dogs cannot even eat in other countries. So yes, technically you could make more, but maybe a country that its first financial product was slavery, if they're still using the bodies in other ways to monetize off of in a nefarious and evil way, why would I want you to be healthy or cured from sickness?
A good book is How Not to Die.
That's a great book. Yep.
And it was written by a doctor who actually, so this guy went to medical school and I think he dropped out, or he might have started practicing and then he left. But long story short, he was in the pursuit of becoming a doctor and then stopped because he realized that the medical field in America, at least, was not designed to prevent things from happening
At all.
It was designed for putting band-aids on things once they did happen, right? So it's like, okay, high blood pressure. Let's take that, for instance, because that's something that a lot of people have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most doctors, what they'll do is that when you have high blood pressure, they'll prescribe you medication to lower your blood pressure, right?
Mm-hmm.
With that, there comes a lot of side effects. With any type of medication, there's side effects, right? Who knows? You might have erectile dysfunction. You might be tired. You might, have headaches, whatever. It's different for different people, but there's going to be side effects with that, right? And then
You get ED from the blood pressure medication? Jesus.
Well, what's crazy is that, how Viagra started? Are you familiar with that?
I should. My cousin actually was like on a trial run for it. No, but I don't know what the first iteration of it was.
So, okay, Viagra was originally a heart medication. And they found that it had a side effect of the side effect, right?
Oh, okay.
Because what happens is that when you're obese, right, your arteries are not working properly and your blood is not flowing properly. So part of getting aroused is having proper blood flow, right?
Yep.
But if your blood's not flowing properly, then that's going to be one of the causes for erectile dysfunction, right?
Noodle time.
So the pill was actually supposed to make, the heart but what they found out that it was a side effect. I say that to say that's a direct correlation. One thing is a direct correlation for another thing.
To another, yeah.
Instead of treating the root of the issue, which is that your blood is not flowing properly, probably because you're out of shape, right?
Yeah.
Probably. Now, what would probably be more beneficial in this situation is to prescribe a diet of low fat, low carbs, prescribe a workout plan.
Yeah. 1,000 steps a day.
Water, make sure you sleep properly. This would actually reverse the erectile dysfunction, probably, right? This would reverse the high blood pressure. It would reverse the cholesterol. But instead, you just subscribe somebody a pill. So you can still eat McDonald's. You can still be grossly overweight. It doesn't matter.
Lemon pepper wings all summer.
But after your body starts to, the pill doesn't have the same effect. So now they got to up your dosage.
Gotcha.
Right. And this is the cycle of America on every level, right? We never treat the issue. We just put a Band-Aid on it so you can just continue to live the life that you're continuing to live. So the book, How Not to Die, is interesting because obviously everybody dies, right? But what it's saying is that 90% of the reasons why people die prematurely is preventable. So their theory is that almost every single cancer is related to your diet, right? And they have a whole bunch of facts that back this up. Then they're saying, as far as diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol, so many different things, right? That, would make somebody die prematurely.
Surely, yep.
Outside of like violence, obviously, but like most people don't die from violence. So what they're saying is that if you reverse the way that you eat and reverse your lifestyle
and your activity,
your probability of living to, at the very least, the age that you're supposed to live at, as far as like the average age or even higher than that, greatly increases over the course of time, as opposed to you dying prematurely because of things that actually could have been prevented if you would have taken the steps to prevent it, mostly by diet. Diet was like the biggest thing. Diet's more important than even physical activity. That's what even every trainer will tell you, that diet's more important than working out, right?
Yeah.
You could work out every single day. If you drink milkshakes and eat McDonald's, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to work.
Unless you're like Ocho Cinco and you're just like a freak of nature, right? But it's like, if you eat good, even if you have minimal workout, you'll see changes in your body. Now, if you eat good and you work out, now that's the most optimal lifestyle, right? But if you only do one of the two, eating good is actually more beneficial than working out. So, interesting read. I highly suggest every single person.
That's a good one.
Check that out, because that's one of these things that kind of makes you look at the American medical system from a different lens.
And also, too, let's say hypothetically, if I own an insurance company, and let's say you ran the Food and Drug Administration, allegedly and hypothetically, wouldn't it behoove our partnership to not cure people so I don't have to pay out the premiums for you living longer?
Yeah.
Just I'm like, you guys like, oh, why do you guys want to talk about this stuff? It's always a money conversation.
Facts.
So, but kudos to the Food and Drug Administration. I don't want any issues. This is hypothetically and allegedly. But shout out to Dr. Sebi, Dr. Wallach. There's a whole bunch of people at different times that have done this. Even when you go to like Chichen Itza in Mexico, like they're like, there's times you should eat. There's seasonal foods that you should eat. There's times to be in the sun, rest when the moon is at its peak. Like, only in our country do we like glorify overeating and overstimulation and then wonder why we're one of the unhappiest and sickest countries in the world.
Facts.
So
all right. Facts. So let's go into this. Okay. Let's talk about, let's just dip our toe into this relationship bag quickly and play a video that I saw on the internet a few weeks ago. Let's play this clip, please.
If you're not providing for her, you have no right to ask her for sex. I don't care if you're married to her. If you're unable to pay the bills, if you're unable to put food on the table, you have no right to ask this woman for her body. You men need therapists. What man in his right mind can get aroused if he's unable to provide for his woman? Sex is for providers because sex is for procreation. If you can't provide for her, you can't provide for a child. Ladies, keep your bodies to yourself. If this man is unable to provide for you, he doesn't deserve you. You understand this? If he can't provide for you on every level, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and financially, he does not deserve your body. Sex is only for providers.
Okay. So in that clip, the gentleman is saying that if you can't provide, you can't have sex. You shouldn't even ask your wife for sex. Okay. Interesting take. Hot take. For sure.
Sounds good.
What's your take on this, Ian?
I mean, I'm sure at some point he wasn't, I'm familiar with the brother. I've been following him for a while, maybe 8 or 9 years. I'm sure there was at some point in his life as a black man, his bag wasn't where it is now, and he was still having sex. Do I think there's ramifications, or should you be cautious if you don't have financial stability? But I'm not into turning our culture into prostitution culture. Like, people are living one life on the internet, not saying that he is, and another life in real life. Like, these conversations, this is the one time I'm going to agree, like, a lot of these conversations are not happening in a lot of other communities. Like, why is this being pushed into our community? And I'm gonna be honest, like, man, maybe when the bag was down, you was giving your best D out. Who knows? Boy, I did some of my best fucking when I had no money. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, these are just jokes written by 85 South. I get where he's going at, but like, bro, get the fuck out of here. Like, I would love to have you on the show and explain your take, but it's like, if you're not providing, and he got a bunch of clips like that, like, women don't want to listen because you can't do. It's like, bro, like, you know, and I know we dipped our toe into these conversations too, but it's like, so if you're down on your luck, your woman should not be faithful to you and make love to you? Or if his bag turns around, should all of his women leave him? Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I got respect for the brother, no smoke. So if y'all clip it up, I don't have an issue with him. I got respect for him, but I think the take was a little bit flagrant. And fellas, be careful. Listen, man, some of y'all be getting y'all girls nabbed by dudes who don't have no money with better dick. You get all the Balenciaga and bags you want to. Great. If you have blood flow issues, right? The Gucci won't save you, my boy. So,
well,
ladies, see or no?
You know what's crazy? What brings up a bigger issue is outside of this is most of the time it's actually the roles reversed. So it's like, you know, A Boogie has the song Grinding, where he was like,
Okay.
I could never, he said, I fuck with you, but you was always like a side chick because I could never put nothing over grinding. So it's interesting to hear that perspective because most of the time the dudes that aren't really getting to it, they got all day to like try to like, you know, court different girls and do different things and be players. Most of the time, if you really get into it like that, you're not even
time.
You don't even really have time to try to even be a player, like, or try to, you know.
No, it's tough.
Ask for who's asking for sex though. That's an awkward conversation to have. First and foremost,
if you got to ask for it, you're in the wrong situation.
Yes, exactly. If
cool.
you have to
By my nose. If it gets to the point like, baby, can we tonight? I'm through.
It's over.
No,
pack your bags.
Go ahead.
Pack your bags.
That'd be my go-to. Then they'd be mad. Why do you want me to get out and talk about being blackout?
Focus on you, because the ship has already sailed. Right,
it's over with.
How does that even happen? How does this work? Like, yo, tonight
it don't.
It don't.
Finito, fellas. I know some of y'all be like, yo, how you be saying the things you say on Blackout? You got to have courage and be honest. They may not like what I say, but they love my honesty though. Gotta have some cojones, some chutzpah, some balls at some point. Because you gotta ask your girl for the sex is over with.
Yeah, it's awkward.
That's crazy.
That's an awkward conversation. That's an awkward conversation.
You think maybe like after dinner, baby, we could maybe make love one time? I wish I would. Go home.
Go home. Go home.
Boy, I may not fly you out, but I'm gonna ship you back first class, baby. United seat 1C. Oh my God, did Ian send you here? Yes, compliments to Mr. Dunlap. Give her a cake, whatever she wants. Go home, my mouse. I'm sorry.
Go home, please.
Yes.
Respectful.
What?
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you got to pose a question: are most men that are providing, are they getting enough loving on a regular anyway? Answer's usually no.
Yeah. 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 It's an interesting take. It's an interesting take because you got to realize most people in the world, let's take America out of it. Most people in the world are poor. Right? If you look at like the global income of human society. So, I mean, you're kind of alienating like 4 billion people with these takes.
And I don't know how big his bag is.
Yeah, I get it. I understand on a certain level the like overall framework of it. Like that shouldn't be your number one priority if you're not where you want to be in life. I get it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, if I'm not where I want to be, I'm not even focused on that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm focused on improving my own situation. And if I have a family, then that's even more motivation, right? Where it's like
pressure,
I got tremendous pressure on me to kind of figure this thing out. But, you know, everybody needs a bit of relief every once in a while. If you're married, I think that's a reasonable. I don't think that's unreasonable. If you've taken an oath for better or worse.
Is he married?
I'm not sure.
Let's have the brother on the show. I want to give him a chance to defend himself.
Let's have the brother on the show. Put in the comments. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about this? While we read chat, shout out to chat. Hit the like button and share. Okay, let's get into
Yeah, love y'all.
Let's get into this. Kanye West being
My boy.
by a former assistant for sexual harassment. Okay. What is the big lesson that we can take away from this situation?
If you agree to have a side chick and you're gonna pay her, fellas, y'all gotta stop making promises that you're not gonna keep. The same shit that happened to Vince McMahon happened to him. You found this girl back in the day. I don't want to tell too much information. Cool. She was your assistant. What does she assist with? OnlyFans. Great. You want her to give up the OnlyFans life. Big mistake. You can't take them out the streets, fellas. You can have them buy you for a little second, but you can't take them out. But if you promise a person a certain amount of money and then breach contract when you get mad, guess what? They're going to sue. Sorry. And now they're going to run your name through the mud right when you was about to put out your little porn site and then retracted that. And Adidas is not going well. And like, come on, bro. I know y'all, but why y'all talk about these topics? This is going to hurt Kanye, especially while the Epstein stuff has happened and Diddy and now this, like, more of these are going to come out. It won't be as bad as maybe some of those cases, but this isn't something that he needs while he's trying to rebuild. Nobody's checking for the music. I don't know when the Yeezys are ever going to come back. The Yeezy pods are cool, but I don't see nobody. Well, I saw more people wearing them dumbass red boots than I've seen in the Yeezy pods. So this got to be careful.
This brings the issue of, okay, one golden rule is that you should probably never have a relationship with anybody that is your employee. This is a business conversation because it's bad practice for a variety of different reasons for this type of situation, but it just gets awkward once you cross boundaries with somebody that you're actually working with. Now it's no longer a boss employee or employee relationship. It's now a lover relationship, and now emotions come into play, and you did something, then you're going to break up probably eventually, right?
At some point.
How's breakup work out when you still got to work together? It's just probably not best if you do it. I know there's a lot of people that meet their significant other at work, and they actually end up getting married, and that's dope, but it's like, just be careful, right? Because most of the time, the person that, if somebody cheats with somebody, they're cheating with somebody at work, because you develop a relationship. If you're with somebody for 8 hours out the day, you start to develop some level of a relationship with this person, right? And then if you actually have any level of physical attraction, now it's kind of hard to spend a whole entire day with somebody that you're attracted to. You're talking to them, they know your family history, you know their family's history, you know everything, you know it becomes a real relationship. Some countries don't allow women and men to work together.
Really? Okay.
We talked about this on Market Mondays before. It's interesting, and it will never happen in America because, you know, our society would just look completely down upon that. But I don't think,
and you need some child support payments to come in too.
I could at least understand it, because I feel like it does separate a lot of issues from happening, right? From a sexual harassment standpoint, but also from an inappropriate relationship standpoint. So many different things fall.
The power dynamic between the two can be off.
It's weird. It's a weird conversation for a lot of people, like, you know, especially for women in the workplace trying to navigate, like you said, power dynamic, stuff like that. It's especially in this climate, I think you just gotta be very, very careful. So that would be my advice. Like, don't have a relationship with somebody that you're actually working with, because once you cross that line, you can't really, there's no coming back. Right? And like you say, you don't know the power dynamic. You might think that it's one way, but somebody else is looking at it from a situation where it's like, well, I kind of felt pressured into doing certain things because that's my boss.
Yeah. And then you may ask somebody to pack some bags and they don't want to do it. Now you lose a bae and a business partner. Oh my God, we did not break up because I didn't pack them bags. Okay, baby, I hear you.
How do you feel about being a business partner with person that you're involved with?
Whenever I get married, I would love to do it then, but I wouldn't do it in relationship prior to. I've tried it. Shout out to my baby. I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in to Blackout. But no, I wouldn't do it. Like, you have to bring some value to the table, but I think it's too tumultuous. Like, if you have a relationship and it ends and things can get awkward, you know, rule number one, never share anything proprietary, even if you're in love. Nope, don't do it. But it's tricky. It's tricky. You have to add some value, but it's hard to do. Not until I'm married will I like fully integrate them into the empire.
Okay, but you would start a business relationship with a friend.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah.
if you start a business with a friend, why would you not start it with your girlfriend?
Because if the well, I'm open to it, but if the relationship doesn't work and then they want to not work together because I ended things, that's tough.
But you can also
even with her, I told her, hey, we can still work together. We can be friends. We didn't work out. No, I'm heartbroken. I can't be in your presence and your aura. You know how they do. So it's tough. I tried. I was like, no, baby, we can still work together for the team. You my baby. Cool. Let's work together. Let's get a bag. We still travel. Cool. It's tough, man, when them emotions get involved. So
no, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah, it's tough.
Military.
That's the ideal situation, though. Like, if you can make that work and you and your bae are like working together, whether publicly or privately, get a bag and have good romance, that's incredible.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Military plane carrying Malawi's vice president and 9 others has reportedly gone missing.
And let's say hypothetically, allegedly, I don't know, maybe like crypto or would have backed something African, and all of a sudden this is what, the 9th person. Now I know y'all keep saying when the other guy passed, well, the plane was 32 years old. Andrew Schultz has an interesting controversial conspiracy that a lot of these Boeing planes are going down. So if hypothetically Trump wins and Air Force One goes down, you kind of have cause to get them. And I hope that it doesn't happen. God forbid, I don't wish death upon anyone. But all these leaders are dying in helicopter crashes and plane crashes, and no one knows where they are.
Oh, well, Roland Martin
he disagreed. Come on the show.
He disagreed with your take.
Come on. Where's the joint in Malaysia, flight 456? Come on. You know how hard it is to, like, if a woman is mad and I go to Miami, she'll find me in Miami with her and 4 of our homegirls. A whole plane went down. You don't know where it went? Come on. But shout out to Roland. He was in them comments crazy last week.
Shout out to Roland. Shout out to Roland Martin. You know, it's one of these things where, yeah, I mean, you know,
that's not that much coincidence, brother. You know that.
It's weird.
I'm gonna say it.
It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. Did we ever land on the moon, by the way?
No.
We never landed.
So how come we never been back?
Have we never been back? Has that been proven?
If you go look at the videos from what Buzz Aldrin has said.
Debunking the moon landing conspiracy in 60 seconds or less. Something they always ask about is, why can't we see the stars in pictures from the moon's surface? And let me ask you, can you take a picture of the stars during the day here on Earth? Their cameras are exposed for the moon's surface. Here is what it looks like when you take pictures of the stars from the moon's surface. Oh, and what about the footprint? They actually wore little boot covers on the moon, which perfectly matches the footprints. And what about the flag blowing in the wind? It just isn't doing that. It has a pole holding the flag out, no wind needed. And we go back for the first time since 1972 next year. So what will their excuse be then?
Kudos to him. And also, I think it's really interesting if you go watch the press conference after they land, look at how nervous the 2 people that are speaking are, and that they have a teleprompter on the desk. It looked like they just was with Southwest and Big Meech back in the day, and they got 300 of the things with the stamps on them. And they're like, how was your trip? And they're like, my trip was really good. I had a great time in California. Over. Like, come on, bro. Like, if we have the technology to go, okay, we don't have cars that can go 100 miles per gallon. You want to tell me in 1956, we took people to outer space And with no gravity, they put the flag in the moon, and
The
the
flag,
flag is waving.
the flag's
Doing a Omarion? Come
the
on.
flag is interesting. That's interesting.
Thought it was no gravity. Or if it was, shouldn't the flag be moving upward? Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Billy Carson, where you at? I know you was on Rogan. We need you on. You know, tell us about the Emerald tablets. Like, come on, bro. Like, come on. No, the Anunnaki didn't grab us and put us on the moon. Even on an iPhone and Samsung, if you zoom in with the 100x, they give you an artificial replica of what the picture's supposed to be. It doesn't give you a real photo. Why?
Why?
I don't know. Maybe they don't want you to see some things up there. And all this space exploration. Remember like 2 years ago when we was talking about space and space mining? Now all of a sudden, no one can even break through the firmament. You can give you an outer world experience, but we can't take you to the upper realms of, okay. Terrence Howard, where are you at? We need you. No, it's just certain things like that. All the conspiracies we grew up on, with the exception of Bigfoot, have been proven to be wrong. JFK, we know who killed JFK. We know who killed Dr. Martin Luther King. The space moon shit was fake. I wanted to go into the buildings that fell in New York. Come on, man. And now people are so brainwashed by the food and social media, you can just tell a lie out in public and people won't even revolt. Back in the day, people would be upset over this. Remember Occupy Wall Street? Now it's like GameStop to the moon. What? Okay. 15 years ago, you wouldn't have been able to have BlackRock and Citadel announce that they are making a new exchange and nobody gave a damn. Cool. Even this is the petrodollar deal coming to an end. I can't find a credible source that will report on it, but a bunch of reporters on the side are like, it's kind of interesting that this is not being talked about. So bring me a moon rock back. And what did y'all see up there? We never went back since then because what, we ran out of money? The budget's bigger for NASA than ever. I'm in Houston. Shout out to everybody in Houston. Appreciate y'all. Would love to come by the office and see the secret vault if y'all want to have me there. Can we do blackout from NASA? That'd be a vibe.
So, but we've been to outer space though, right? That's confirmed.
Yeah.
We've been to outer space.
Yeah.
So
if
we've been to outer space, why do you think it's unrealistic to say that we've been? Now, the first moon thing, that is a little suspicious. But I feel like if we can go to outer space, we can go to the moon now. At least, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Why haven't we been? We have cars that we can fall asleep and listen to Drake and Dua Lipa and Kodak Black in, but we haven't had advancements in technology to take us there. We've had the same phone for damn near 20 years. Shout out to Apple hitting an all-time high today. If I made you money, please put us in chat. Technology isn't dramatically better than it was 15 years ago. The biggest innovation that they've got in the hood is a switch on a Glock. I want some Iron Man. What? I want you to laser beam out my hand. What? No. And if so, where is no other country has been since this race? In the 50s and 60s? Like, okay. Just like if you go to Turks one time. The first time you went to Turks, you eventually went back, right? Some people were left stranded ashore.
Can we confirm that though? Can we confirm that we have not gone back to the moon?
Buzz Aldrin, can you come to the stage?
Please. We need him on the show.
That would be a great guest. Alex Jones wasn't wrong about everything, man. It's a lot he was wrong about, but the things he was right about, tough. And in this technological age, when we were losing the race to Russia, we had to preemptively say that we were the leaders and for the morale of the people and for some of the technology. Going back to that funding conversation, who gets what funding based off what innovation or where did we land? Okay. Plymouth Rock landed on us. We didn't land on that moon rock though. And then you come back and all the footage, all of a sudden, well, it got degraded when we came back into the orbit. Okay, gotcha. And then why, like some of the people that told the truth about even Apollo 13, their families?
So they're saying that In 2019, China's Chang'e 4 became the first spacecraft to land on the far side of the moon. China is also planning to send 3 more uncrewed missions to the moon this decade to search for water and possibly establish a permanent base. The last successful crewed mission to the moon by the United States was Apollo 17, which landed December 7th, 1972, and concluded on December 19th, 1992. So Apollo 17 wasn't the first Apollo, right?
Yeah.
So
they haven't been back since Michael Jordan destroyed Croatia in the Dream Team.
Longer than that.
But
72 that was Ron Isley was running
it. George Clinton was dancing underwater and couldn't get wet.
I said 92 is 72. 1972.
Oh, okay, 72.
1972 was the last time.
Tupac was one.
This is interesting.
The Chevy Chevelle didn't have good traction, but we had a rocket propulsion system. Okay, I got you. Can I get some government funding too? Take me to the moon. I got a nice little studio here. We're doing an 8K. Cool. Had me float around with Jake Paul or somebody. Yo, the moon was a vibe, yo. Okay. Cool.
1972 was the last time that we've been to the moon, allegedly. And why have we not been back to the moon since 1972?
And then they won't go to that dark side where those structures are. Billy Carson, where you at? Y'all can go on Google and just Google, Billy
Carson
images.
will be at InvestFest, by the way. So maybe he'll speak about this at InvestFest.
Yeah. Go to that dark side of the moon and see what technologies are there. Anunnaki, where you at? When y'all coming back? We need some new updated phones and shit. We need some new technology. Or just be going to conspiracy. Have you ever, like, when you go overseas, like, have you ever looked at like the geographic, like the map of the geography when you fly over the oceans and you can see like the structures that are underwater? Pretty fascinating. Next time you take a trip on a little console, just hit the little water map and just see, and then you'll get to over the Atlantic and you'll see some structures. That's pretty fascinating. Yep. So if we have that technology to map where Atlantis could have been, not the pink Bahamas, but the real Atlantis, we don't have 3 rocks that we brought back from the moon and no film. Cool. Put that shit in Final Cut Pro. We can do a great job. Me, you, Jake Paul, Janae Aiko, let's all float on moon rocks. 2 Chainz, right? Cool. So, and there are other planets that are similar to Earth in temperature and amount of water. So I think over the next maybe 15 years, we will have some exploration that happens. But the moon, nah.
Do you believe in? Do you think there's aliens?
I think it would be misguided if we think in how vast this universe is if we are the only mammalian or living life form in the universe. For sure.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think the probability is very low. It's universes that we don't even know exist, right?
I haven't studied. Yeah.
It's so vast that we don't even have a human understanding of how vast space is. So the probability of something like that'd be like an entire ocean, and the only thing in the ocean is one
particular type of fish,
goldfish.
Yeah. We only explored 13% of our oceans. Even these orcas starting to or whales, beach themselves upon. I mean, the aliens may be hiding in the ocean. That would be like a perfect place to hide because we don't explore there.
Well, that would be the first thing I would like to see. What's on the bottom of the ocean?
James Cameron did it, and then some of that footage wasn't able to be released. If you think Birdman tucked away Lil Wayne's documentary back in the day, you don't think that the underground sea vault files, man, hey, it's tough. But what do I know? I'm just a guy that's talking on YouTube. I love y'all. Put alien in the chat if y'all think aliens are real.
Okay. Okay.
There has to be other life forms. I want you guys to go Google how many planets have bodies of water that are comparable to a lake or at least a ravine. That's more than 3. So where there's water, life usually flows after. And if you go watch the little Godzilla versus whoever movie, it told you about the center of the earth and the underworld. It was interesting. It was some foreshadowing there.
If you watch movies, you'll see the future.
Yeah, you'll see the future.
Okay.
That programming.
The question that everybody wants to know, Ian.
Yes.
Do you date black women?
Hell yeah, I'm looking for her right now, baby. Where you at? Come find me.
You're looking for a black woman?
Yeah, I've been looking.
So where did this come from?
Because they see me pop out with 2 or 3 Colombianas, and then they can't beat me at the invest and shit. So that's what they want to be. Well, he doesn't date black women. You know I date black women because I dated some of yours. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So you date. So you do date black women?
Yeah, my biggest love for black women.
Just for the record.
For the record, I'm make them pop out in Invest Fest too. That's where you at. One of them married. Shout out to my old Spellman boo. She married. I ain't gonna bring your name up, but peace and blessings to you.
Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings.
Love, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got that out the way.
Yeah. Shout out to my little LA boo I was supposed to pop out with. Where you at? You know, sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show.
Don't play.
Boogeyman.
Yeah. If you was at the yacht party, you know what I mean? There was some prospects in there. Prospects. Yeah. So.
Okay.
But if you mean me well and you're an amazing black woman and you think we can have, you know, build together, maybe shoot me a message. You know what I mean?
Maybe shoot. Oh, man.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You came in spicy. That's why we here. We got to talk about the real. Yep.
You know, inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of black women, you see Dr. Umar relative got married to somebody white? Blanco, muy blanco. Dr. Umar, where you at? You ain't replied to no text yet, my guy. What's up? Come on the show.
I see. It was like his cousin or something?
Yeah, his cousin. Yeah.
Umar. Yeah. Shout out to Umar.
Shout out to Umar. King Kong of consciousness.
So, okay. Caitlin Clark. Wow. Wowzers. What's the deal? Is she getting unfair treatment from the WNBA?
I mean, in some regards, maybe yes. But you can tell a lot of people hadn't watched WNBA basketball. Like I was watching back when like Skylar first got in the league, right? They've been physical. But if you're gonna, even when like the stuff was happening, shout out to Flau'jae and Angel, when you're doing the John Cena shit in the game and then they bark back at you, don't bitch up now and cry. So if you're the next Larry Bird or Steph Curry for the WNBA, man, Sue Bird is going to come test to see if you really, Asia's going to come test and see if you really about that. So I do think they're going to make the league softer to benefit her, in the same way that hand checking went away for certain players. Y'all could do zone when Iverson was playing, but then afterwards it was like, okay, you can't do zone in the middle of the lane anymore. So the rules are softened up because she is the cash cow. We have to admit that. They finally got them girls off Southwest and flying first class. Great. But I think whenever you get into a field or a sport, you have to realize people are going to attack you. You have to be better as a result. Fever, a shitty team. They may now if they get the number 1 pick next year and get her in Juju, now we got action. Now we have action. But I think she sulked a little bit. You can't have it both ways. You can't talk shit and then when you get bullied, now you're like, why are they following me hard? Well, you brought this on to you. So,
well, I'll say this. Protect the bag at all costs, right? Mm-hmm. Let's be honest. Let's just be honest about it. Shout out to women's basketball. Shout out to, every girl that's out there pursuing her dreams. Disclaimer. Mm-hmm. Nobody was watching women's basketball for 20 years. Let's just be honest, right? Gyms empty. Final 4 game looked like AAU. They're playing in a stadium with 500 people watching. They even at like I think like American Family Dad, one of these cartoons, they had like a whole thing about it when they was like dribbling with like two hands, shit like that. Like,
there's some girls that can play though.
No, I'm just saying. Let's just be honest.
Oh yeah.
Had no motion. Women's basketball had no motion.
Yeah.
For years.
Yeah.
Now, what started this was the national finals game, right? Remember?
Yeah, what started last year?
Huh?
The 1 year before, when she lost.
LSU.
Yeah. Yep.
So they're right as far as whatchamacallit, Angel Reese is right that Caitlin Clark is not solely responsible, but she's at least 70% responsible. Because LSU does get credit for this as well.
Yep.
But understand that there's a uber star and then there's superstars. Caitlin Clark is the uber star. Right?
Yeah, she's a generational star.
Uber star needs some nemesis, right? Like, so her opponent was Angel Reese and LSU, and that was a good rivalry for college basketball, but it also catapulted the whole sport of women's basketball. But let's just be honest.
But there's a lot of sympathy over her losing too.
No, for sure. But let's be honest. Caitlin Clark is the ticket. She's the ticket. Right? Yep. You're watching this.
We can't argue that. Yeah.
And she's performed at the highest level. Every time that she's played, she shows up. Like, she's really good. Like, she's a legit star basketball player, right? So I get it that the women in the WNBA don't want to be like, well, she's the savior. But I mean, she kind of is, to be honest with you. You don't have private planes if it's not for Caitlin Clark. Your games are not selling out if it's not for Caitlin Clark. You have they're on Sports Center. They're on like these social media sites every single day now, right?
This girl averaging 14 points in Indiana.
That's good for a rookie. 14 points is good for a rookie.
Yeah, or it's going 85. Yeah. Yeah,
she's having a good season. Yeah. It's just so much pressure put on her. Like she's not averaging 30, but you averaging 14 points a game for the worst team in the league as a rookie. That's not bad. She's having a good season with so much pressure put on her. She should have definitely been on the Olympics team. That's a joke, right? Like
you think so?
She's the number one face. She's the biggest face in the league. Right,
Shaq didn't make it to the Dream Team over Christian Laettner, but
should have. But Shaq,
it's not Christian Laettner.
Shaq wasn't the biggest face of the league.
That's true.
The number one player, the biggest name in the league, has always been on. Michael Jordan was on the team.
Uber star though.
This is a weird situation because you have the biggest face in the league, who she's not the best player in the league right now, right? And she's also a rookie, but she's also the biggest name in the sport.
But should she be at 14 points? Aja Wilson at 28 points a game. Rika's at 26. Jewel Lloyd is at 20. Even Kelsey Plum at 19 points a game.
But how many of those people are rookies?
None.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like LeBron.
No. Oh, she's at 16 points a game. My bad.
LeBron James averaged what, 19 points his first year?
21. Troy, how many LeBron averaged? 21, something like that. AB would know for sure. He had many debates in Toronto.
You don't come into the league and just average 30 points a game. Nobody does that. You gotta learn. It's a different system. You gotta travel. And they just finished their college season.
Yeah,
like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. I think the girl will start, but like if I run into somebody and then I talk shit to them and then they slap me, I can't be like, why did you hit me? Get up and play.
No,
the girl bumped her on a block out and you're crying like she fucking DDT'd you in Royal Rumble.
Supposed to the women of the WNBA they're supposed to be playing it hard against her. They're supposed to, but you also gotta understand that she got the shit lit. Let's just be honest.
No, there are two different points. She is the mega star in the league. You can't be the mega crybaby though. Diana Taurasi would never. Who else played you? Maya Moore would. What? over a block.
LeBron James averaged 20 points his rookie year.
Okay.
But it's still a far cry from his level of excellence that we've known from him.
Yeah, we got him to
20 years. So I'm all for black empowerment. I'm like the most black empowerment person of all time.
You more than 19 Keys and Umar?
Maybe. Maybe. But I'm also a rational human being.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna play the race card on this. She's the one. She's the one.
Yeah.
She's the one. I mean, I don't know what you want me to say. What you want me to lie to you? She's the one. She's the one that got it lit. She's the one that has performed at the highest level possible. She's the Steph Curry. She's essentially Steph Curry of the WNBA. How Steph Curry revolutionized the game of basketball, right? Only a few people in history have revolutionized the game of basketball. Steph Curry has revolutionized the game of basketball where every kid is shooting threes now. Any kid that's 5'9" thinks that he can make it to the league. If you're 180 pounds, you think you can make it to the league because he didn't. He's not playing off of his physical dominance. He didn't come in the league 6'9". He revolutionized how the game of basketball is played. Steph Curry is a legend for that.
Is Steph Curry a generational talent?
Of course.
You hear what Gil said?
Gilbert Arenas? What did he say?
He said that he wasn't, which I thought was fucking crazy.
I think he's just saying stuff just to say it. Well, I have to know what the context of him saying that is, because if he's saying if he's not a generational talent as far as like an unbelievable basketball player, you can make an argument for that.
That's what he was saying, that he didn't become that until he passed everyone up, and no one was saying that when he was coming in.
Well, that's true. That's true. And he's also a skilled. He's the greatest.
One of the most skilled.
No, he's the greatest shooter of all time.
His handle package, like I know we always mention Kyrie, but we got like
no. He's probably top. He's top 5 handles of all time. He's top 5.
Insane.
Handles. No, he's definitely a generational talent. He's a generational talent. He's probably top 5 players ever.
I agree.
Definitely top 10. If he's not top 5, he's definitely top 10. But like Kobe didn't change the game of basketball. LeBron, to me, is the greatest player of all time. He didn't change the game of basketball. Right? Like,
that's interesting. Okay.
Dirk Nowitzki changed the game of basketball.
Yeah.
Right? So just because you change the game of basketball doesn't mean that Dirk Nowitzki's not better than LeBron. Steph Curry changed the game of basketball. Steph Curry's not better than LeBron, but he did something that LeBron.
He changed the game for sure.
He changed the game of basketball. So Caitlin Clark has changed the whole. She changed the whole entire sport. She might not be better than the top player in the WNBA right now, but the average American does not know who the top player in the WNBA is. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Like
would the effect be the same if she was black with the same skill set? I could argue if Steph was white, Steph would be like white Jesus, right? I don't think if Caitlin Clark is black, that it would be the same impact.
But it's an argument that's not even worth arguing because she's not black. It's like saying if Eminem is black, does he become as successful as Eminem? Well, we'll never know. We'll never know.
He would have been Redman.
He
would have been Redman.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But he's not black. He's white, and he's Eminem. So we'll never know. So it kind of defeats the purpose in making those type of arguments. In my opinion. Yeah. But shout out to the WNBA. But I'm just being honest. Yep. I feel like Caitlin Clark has done something that I've never seen anybody really do. I've never seen one person change a sport before. Like I said, Steph Curry has changed it as far as like revolutionized it, but he didn't change the whole entire way that we look at basketball, like men's basketball.
It was Michael Jordan?
Michael Jordan definitely played a major part, but the NBA was still lit with Bird and Magic, but Michael took it to another level.
Tape delaying games back then, right?
But like if Mike took it from 70 to 90, she took it from 20 to 80. Like she took this game from 20 to 80. Like I'm saying, like they They were riding commercial airplanes, bro. Like nobody was watching their games.
Yeah.
Like she got it lit. So
yeah, them Chicago Sky games back in the day used to be able to get like 20 tickets for $100 or $150.
Final Four. I remember watching the Final Four, and this is when UConn was dominating because women they've been good for a long time.
A long time, yeah.
UConn was dominating, and it'd be like 1,000 people in an 80,000 arena.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah.
Okay.
How'd JJ Redick get a job before Mark Jackson?
It's called LeBron James. But I don't think he's officially hired yet, though. Is he?
No. But the coach from UConn said that he declined the offer.
Yeah. But LeBron, I mean, you got to understand, like, once again, you cater to your stars. Right?
Yep.
Right?
Is JJ the right person for the job, though? Just because he'll do what LeBron wants him to do?
It's worth a shot. It's worth a shot. I mean, I feel like the NBA is just like trial and error. You never really know. Mark Jackson never had coaching experience, and he did a good job. Steve Kerr didn't really have coaching experience. He did a good job.
He was an assistant with the Spurs, though, right?
Steve Kerr?
Was he? Or am I mistaken?
We got to do
research. Or just play for the Spurs. I know he was an announcer, but I thought he came from Pop's tree. Shout out to each Chicago legend.
I feel like Braun is in a point in his life right now where he could say, "I want this to happen," or I'm leaving. He's a free agent. You got to cater to. He only has
the person with the goal make the rules, right?
Life's golden rule. The person with the goal makes the rules. What's the point of having power if you don't use it?
Facts. That's why Putin pulled them ships up to Cuba.
Oh, let's talk about that, by the way. So, okay. What the hell is going on with Russia?
4 Russian warships are headed on the way to Havana, Cuba, about 90 miles from the Florida coast, due to arrive Wednesday for military exercises, a move certain to heighten tensions between the U.S. and Russia. Pentagon officials say they're monitoring the ship's movements, but they are not concerned. Cuba hosted Russian military exercises every year between 2013 and 2020. Cuba's foreign ministry says the ships pose no threat, but we all know the situation in Ukraine has changed the trajectory of this situation and relations. Saying in a statement that the visit corresponds to the historical friendly relations between Cuba and the Russian Federation. None of the ships carry nuclear weapons, so their stopover in our country does not represent a threat to the region.
And Cuba, you know, Russia has a long history with Cuba. This goes back to Fidel Castro days.
Give us a history lesson Troy wanted you to give on Monday. What's up? Come on, teach the people.
You know, when they kicked Batista out, you know, the Cuban Revolution. This was back in the '60s with Fidel Castro and Che Guevara, and they defeated the American-backed government of Cuba and kicked out a lot of people, and took over land, businesses, nationalized a variety of different things, and had a communist agenda. And they were allies with Russia. And that was the real reason for America having such a disdain for Cuba. It was because they felt, you know, it was during the Cold War. And obviously Cuba is 90 miles away from America. And they felt, you know, okay, this is a Russian-backed regime. And we got it because it's like there's no reason for the hostility for Cuba to still continue to this day. But this all goes back to the political landscape because there's an extremely strong voting bloc in South Florida of exiled Cubans that vehemently hate Castro, everything he stood for, the regime, the whole situation, and they have political power because they vote. This goes back to our conversation with Jamal Bowman, right? When you vote as a block for your own interest, that gives you power. So the political dynamic in Cuba, it kind of got a little bit better during President Obama's tenure, where he kind of lifted a lot of the restrictions as far as travel. But then once Trump got back in, it went back to business as usual. So, okay, Cuba. So Russia has sent ships to Cuba. What's going on?
Maybe he just wanted a beautiful destination to look at. But I know the last time he chose to exercise or these war games, they end up in that conflict with Ukraine. And I keep saying the number one thing that a president has to do is make sure that the economy is good for the people that he serves. And then number two, keep us out of war. The Russia-Ukraine conflict has not went well. Jamal Bowman came on and talked about why, but that's been a historical thing for the last 100 years too. And then I thought it was interesting that Putin finally said that America is our enemy since we are their enemy. And then he gets on that big ass naval yacht and then parks in Cuba. Now, of course, we sent ships to shadow theirs in case something happens, but that regime doesn't come off as one that will do a false flag or false threat. So I think it's something people have to keep their eyes on. Like, we had a very interesting time in history where a lot of things could go wrong back to back to back that will like make things very uneasy for everyone over the next 10 to 12 years. There's a lot of quiet wars that are going on. There's a potential civil war in the United States. Our issue with Russia, Ukraine and Russia isn't simmering down. Us and China. Remember the BRICS conversation we was having 2 years ago? It's very sticky. And what we need is a leader, a president that can kind of calm some of these situations down. Because if not, we can be in a lot of trouble. I don't think it'll be World War III. I know everyone leads with that, but this can be very sticky for sure.
But then also it's one of these things where every country does this, right? As far as there's a reason why, America actually annexed the whole entire nation. Nobody ever thinks about that part of it. I used to live in Hawaii for 2 years. Hawaii was actually its own independent nation. It had a king. And America decided that it would be a good idea to take over Hawaii and add them as the 50th state because they were close to Japan, right? It's the closest situation that we can have to Japan. America has bases all over the world. So they'll put ships in Taiwan or, work closely with Taiwan because they want to have an interest in the region and they feel that, they want to be close to China, right? Or the same thing with South Korea or the same thing with Ukraine. I mean, so it's just interesting when like another country does this, then it's like the whole entire world is collapsing. We've been doing this for decades.
Yeah, no one likes when the rabbit has a gun on a hunter. So when it's done to us, it's like, oh, what's going on? It's like, well, we've been doing this thing for 80 years, 100 years. But if this does not, we are in too many wars. We're stretched too thin. We've helped too many other countries. I won't mention which ones, but that is going to come back to bite us in the ass. We're not well equipped to be in all these wars. Sucks. But when the power structure starts to do to us what we've done to them, it's never fun. It's never fun. So, yeah.
But, it's interesting. Okay, let's talk about some other geopolitical topics. Mexico elects its first female president ever. Right?
This morning, Mexico electing the first woman president and first Jewish president in its 200-year history. Claudia Sheinbaum, a close ally of Mexico's current president, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, declaring victory overnight. The election also happening across the U.S., with 20 Mexican consulates allowing voters to cast ballots.
And what is this? 37 candidates were assassinated in the process. Is that correct?
Como se dice, mi amigo, mi negrito. I'm not talking about this one. I have to. No, Papa. You crazy? Everyone was like, yo, what you think? Shout to the pre-party, the Pan Marino. No.
So I know nothing. I believe she's Jewish. Maybe Troy can fact check this.
Can you zoom in on Rashad? Because I gotta go back to my second home.
So she's the first female president of Mexico history. She's Jewish, I believe, which is interesting within itself because I think like probably 90% of Mexicans are Catholics. So she's a minority in their country. And she's extremely right wing, from what I understand, like a very right wing politician. And if you've been studying world politics, you've noticed that there's been a wave of right wing elected officials throughout the world that have been getting elected, from Argentina to Europe to now Mexico to the guy in the Philippines. To Donald Trump.
Senior Trump.
This is a worldwide phenomenon of right-wing politicians that have taken office with anti-immigration stance, very right-wing, hard right-wing.
Mm-hmm.
So why is that happening? Right? Why has the whole entire world, not every part of the world, but why is the world so moving, at least those countries, like with white people, at least, why are they moving into such right-wing pockets?
You need absolute control. Long gone are the days of politicians, with the exception of the one in Mexico, Fort Cape, doing what is best for the people. I think the Democrats or the liberal parties have become too conservative and focus on issues that really don't matter at scale. And the conservatives see a chance to take over by sheer force, and it's working. Now, as far as the people that got killed, God rest their soul, but their election process works a lot different than our process here. It's more show of force there. So for that reason, I wouldn't like to say anything else about her because I have to spend time there. But I think conservatives have realized that Democrats are just soft as shit, to be honest. You won't take a stance. You won't be honest. Donald Trump fucking destroyed Hillary Clinton in front of the whole world, talking about, well, I didn't pay a certain amount of taxes because your friends allowed these laws, and she had no comeback other than wait till your emails come out. Come on, man. And even when people are like, oh, you guys are revealing or talking about too much. Yes, there's a consequence for telling the truth, but like at some point as a man, you have to have some balls. The part that I hate the most is like, yo, you'll agree with what I say, but then like I'm saying too much. No, have some fucking chutzpah at some point. No. So the Democrats have gotten too weak. It hasn't worked. Okay, great. You tried to do the inclusion thing. You tried to focus on programs that didn't work, and now you're getting your ass kicked in the polls. No. Sucks. But kudos to everyone in Mexico. Please still invite me to the carne asada. I appreciate you. I will stay out of Mexican affairs because I'm not Mexican. But the powers that be that run that country made sure they got the candidate that they wanted. And I advise everybody else to stay out of that shit too. Because they do not play that in there. Shout out to New Jalisco.
Viva la Mexico!
Viva la raza. You know what I mean? Shit. Leave that alone. You think B613 something here? Secret Service something? Boy. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you cure heartbreak?
I don't know. Eat, pray, love, meditate. You got to give it time. Usually, like, however long you in a relationship, it takes at least half the time to heal. I think it's really important not to try and move on too fast after you go through a heartbreak. I know a lot of people don't like doing the work. They don't, like being alone, but that's what's necessary. Because often the heartbreak that we feel comes from the work that we didn't do, which led us to secure or go after or seek a bad partner in the first place. But I think ultimately it takes time. You got to work on yourself. And like you said, right food, exercise, good friendship circle. You have to have a passion outside of that relationship. But most importantly, you got to give it time. Got to give it time. Yeah.
Time heals all wounds. That's what they say.
Yeah. Is that true?
Or do you not?
Most wounds. Yeah. Most wounds.
Or do you not get emotionally attached?
That's a good perspective to have, but I think that can be lonely and shallow too. I don't think you should get emotionally attached to everybody, and I think you do have to realize that at some point that things can end, or you can walk away, or they can walk away. So there has to be a limit of how attached you get, for sure. Yeah. When I was in there packing after she unpacked them bags, I didn't want to. I was sad about 3 weeks, you know what I mean? But then I was like, oh, okay, cool.
The 3-week mortal.
Yeah. It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got another little email today too. I can't believe things turned out this way between us. It was a close. Just listen in a moment while you got the win, yo.
Oh, you get emails?
Yeah, that's what they got to do when I block them.
Oh man.
Yeah. Hit that Gmail real quick, baby. Real quick.
I can't believe.
It's a little tightening, you know.
I can't believe this is how it ended.
Yeah. Me too. Bow. You'll see me still on the ground. Bow. Hey, shot Sexy Red. Hey.
Bow.
Yeah. Ice Spice get in the booth. Flo Millie. And Meg. Oh my God.
What happened?
Oh my
they dissed her?
Yeah, they did the Sunday Service remix.
So they dissed Ice Spice?
Well, Lotto. Well, that's who Lotto's diss was directed at. They kind of came in and talked their little shit on top of it too. Flo Millie killed it too. Meg did that thing too. Yeah, get in the booth. The little fart record ain't gonna do it this summer. Come on. And that girl put up a 42 Suburbans and 21 wasn't there. Come on, Ice Spice. Come on. You gotta fire back. You gotta fight back. Speaking of fighting back, how do you deal with hate or like people's insecurity after you've like grown fame? I'm getting this question a lot more from people that are like starting to do well. So how do you deal with like the jealousy and envy after? You a psycho. You go to work. I do the same thing. Oh, when you make this announcement, oh my God, I won't give a clue. But when it happens,
a OG told me. He said, "Avoid problems at all costs." Especially because it's like, you know, one of the 48 laws is that you gotta destroy completely, but you gotta be prepared to destroy it completely. Right?
Absolutely.
Like, there's a lot that goes into destroying something completely. You gotta be mentally prepared to go down in the mud, and you don't want to.
You're a psycho. Yeah.
A lot of times it's not worth it. So I say that to say, the best way to really deal with the hate is just to ignore it. Yeah. Really, that's usually the best way to. If you're going to engage in it, you got to prepare. Now you got to be prepared to go all the
years. Yeah.
But you know, every level of success breeds envy, right? Like, you can't expect to be successful and not have people that are envious of you, people that are jealous of you, people that hate you, people that feel entitled. That comes with it. If you don't want that, the easiest way to not have that is don't be successful. Then you won't.
And then people still won't like you and talk crazy about it.
Exactly. So my thing is, like, as far as how to deal with it, how do you prepare yourself? You don't put too much energy into it. Come outside in the real world. That's one thing that Cardi said that I really, thought was dope. When she's like, I'm gonna go to. I think she kind of phrased it a little differently when she was like, she's gonna go to clubs more because she gets love and clubs.
Smart.
It's like, for me, like I go outside. I'm outside all the time, whether it's basketball games or a block party or whatever. Like, and it's always love. Every time we go outside, it's love. People are like, yo, you changed my life. I've watched Market Mondays. I made so much money. So when you get that love, that because a lot of times on social media, you might feel like, damn, the whole world is against me, but it's a vocal minority. I like to say it's a vocal minority. The vast majority of people that are like really like sane, good people, they don't got time to be commenting, and so it's like the weirdos online that's going to comment negativity and do all of that. They're always going to be they're going to outnumber, and they're going to look like they're more than what they actually are. They're overrepresented in Instagram comments, right? But when you realize like that probably is 1% of the population, right? It's just they're the vocal minority, where the majority is usually silent, It's a silent majority. But when you actually start interacting with people in real life, then like the love is always going to outweigh the hate. That's usually how it goes. So I wouldn't even worry about that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I said, if you prepared to be successful, prepared to be hated, prepared to be, go through the nonsense, it's unavoidable. Everybody had to do it.
Yeah.
Like Jake.
Also, and don't give them more reasons to be upset or hate.
Yeah, for sure. Like,
Yeah.
They even talk about your baby crazy.
For real.
So, what can you do, man? What can you do?
Keep living, keep giving back. But like you said, being outside, touching the people, because familiarity sometimes will erase some of that. I've even ran into people like, hey, I did an event with somebody a couple of weeks ago. He was like, yo, when he first started doing Market Mondays, I was mad, I was jealous, I didn't know you, but like I've interacted with you a few times. He was actually at InvestFest a year or two.
Okay.
And he was like, yo, you was cool as hell. I'm like, I get it. Like, even in the clips on Blackout, like I'll see some of the clips and I'll be like, I'm pissing me off too. I get it. But when I saw him in person, he was like, ladies, fly yourself out. But he was like, bro, you cool. Like, I rock with you. Sometimes people just need to meet you and be in your presence. So I think, do you have to be outside, engaged, be kind, and also like in long term, the love will win more than anything. That's why like I don't respond back to the beef and bullshit and all that. Like, I'm cool. I just want to spend time with my son, hang with my family, my friends, help people make money and be out the way. So
that's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
So
okay. Do you think that people are really getting cloned?
We want to go down a deep conspiracy. Billy, where you at? I do think, I don't know if it's been successful yet, but I do believe they have attempted to clone people. And I want to say some names, but I'm not, because I don't want to end up all on the interweb and shade room. But I do think if they've successfully have cloned animals for the last 20 years, let's do the research about that. And they can replicate organs in other animals. You don't think that they've tried to replicate a human kidney? Or we on the deep end? What's up?
I mean, I feel like they've already cloned a pig or one of these animals. So if they cloned an animal, then they've cloned a person.
Yeah. And then if Elon has the artificial intelligence thing to put in your brain, and then if I have you in contract in perpetuity, why not just clone you? Hypothetically. Sci-fi vibes. See, I'm scaring Shotty right now. I'm gonna stop it. That's how I felt about that Mexico topic. What you think of the president? Mexico's a beautiful place. Love the beaches. Stay out the way. Yep.
Yeah.
So, a couple of our favorite celebrities went away and came back looking different. Like, oh, you had ear surgery? Oh wow, okay, great.
What are some techniques that men and women can practice if they came from a toxic environment, such as broken home, or abuse, verbal, physical, drug, gang infested neighborhoods, juvenile jail detention centers, stuff like that, to become great, to rise above that level of adversity and become, a productive citizen?
Yeah, I don't think it's one solution for every person, but I do think healing from the traumas, therapy is good. The circle of people that you're around matter a hell of a lot, though. Like, and this is why, like, not a promo for InvestFast but being at events like that or Market Mondays Live is really key, because you can end up finding your tribe, because like the habits of the 5 people that you're around does matter. Like, when you look at everyone tonight, look at your 5 friends and see what the average income, average relationship life cycle is, average weight is. You are the median of that. So the 5 people that you pick to be in that starting 5 in your life matters a hell of a lot. If you're faith-based, you need like a faith-based, whether it's church or synagogue or mosque, to lean into your faith. But I think what you pour into your brain every day is really key. That's why I'm really mindful of, like, I love social media for the promotional aspects that it gives us, but I hate the drama that comes with it. But you have to put things into your mind that are going to enrich you. Like, even some people are like, oh, you guys are nerds. I'm like, no, like, is knowing all the hood politics cool, or has it led to detriment? Like, you have to pick your journey. But if you come from a broken environment like many of us have, I think the tribe that you pick matters most on what you're putting into your brain every single day. Like, I'm always listening to information, feeding information from a variety of sources. And then we're sharing information back and forth amongst each other. Like, our circle is doing that. So that, I think that's most important. But what do you think?
Yeah, for sure. I think, self-reflection is extremely important. And like you said, going to therapy, I think a lot of people can benefit from sitting down and talking about their issues that they may have experienced, and not, projecting their anger on other people, because hurt people. So
Absolutely.
a lot of people are projecting past traumas and issues that they haven't fully dealt with yet. So I think you definitely have to deal with your issues before you can move forward. And whether that's with a therapist, whether that's self-reflection, whether that's meditation, whether that's spiritual, a combination of all of them, I think it's important. I think that that's vitally important, right? Because until you deal with things in your past, you're not going to be able to move forward.
Yeah. Yeah, I read a great quote. This is: how you treat people when you're annoyed or agitated is a better indication of where you are spiritually than the quotes you share on social media or the books you read. Facts. I thought that was a great quote.
Facts.
An amazing quote.
But before we leave, I got another question for my mom.
Shout out to your mom.
Sure. So she's saying, can you date somebody that has a different diet than you? Like, I'll give you an example, right? If, like, 19 Keys, right? That would be awkward if I see 19 Keys with somebody who's eating McDonald's every day, right? That doesn't align, right?
That's low level. Yeah.
Me, I don't eat pork. If I was with somebody who is eating bacon, that's awkward.
You can go find a pig in the Bahamas and bring it and cook it, though.
It's awkward, right? So it's
oh man.
So you never really think, this is something that you never really think of. Nobody's thinking about that, right? And if you're dating somebody, you might give it a pass. Like, if you just would see somebody once every, it's not that big of a deal. But I'm talking about, like, if you are like in a relationship, living with somebody, considering getting married, like, this is y'all actually rocking, right? And their diets are complete opposite of yours. Is this a deal breaker?
It has to be. I think this will go into like spiritual hygiene, if you will. So, like, because whatever you eat, you end up reflecting that the habits that you have together. I also think the things in the diet, the things you consume, how you handle conflict and how you communicate has to be encompassed in that diet. So, like, if a person is avoidant or typically detaches fast or explosive, right? And you're not that way, I don't think it's a great fit. Because that relationship piece, that part, and this is the reason why we talk about it, it doesn't matter how much money you get. You can make all the money off in video that I've told you to, and great. You can post 4 times a day on social, drop your podcast every week like Rashad and Troy told you to. If the relationship part is not in sync and there's not peace there, you're going to erode that fucking money. I've seen it happen time and time again. So if the lifestyle or way of being or the habits are too different, you can't let the lust outweigh the logical side for what is best for you. So no.
But I also think that you attract the energy that you attract usually is going to be aligned, right? Like, for me personally,
usually a reflection of each other. Yep.
Like, I'm just who you even attract, though. Like, I usually attract people that have similar diets than me without even knowing, like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, that's just the vibe. I'm like,
that you're giving,
attracting sometimes, but for the most part throughout my history, I haven't attracted people that have had tremendous differences in their diet than I have. So I think that that's kind of part of it too. Like, the frequency that you put out is that's who you're gonna actually bring into your vibe.
Yeah. Vibration is key.
The vibration. Keep the
Absolutely.
vibration vibrating.
Yeah, you have to be the thing that you want to receive too.
For sure.
For sure. Like a lot of people avoid that work. Shout to Foxy, like it's one of the conversations I have with her a lot. It's like you have to be the thing that you want to receive before you can even go to the universe and ask for it. And we see it in finances all the time. People be like, yo, what can I do to be rich? And I'm like, I don't know if you're doing the core things just to take care of you. Like, I don't know if you can handle this workload. I know it looks like fun when you see me posting the pictures in Playa and y'all traveling the world. There's work on the plane. Work and baggage claim. Like as we land, there's calls. Before we start, it's calls that are going on. It's not just play. But one, you also have to realize too, like this is a blessing. Like to be able to do this and broadcast and invest and trade and do Invest Fast and Market Mondays Live and now Blackout Live, like it's a blessing. But I don't think everyone treats the work like it is a blessing. They look at it like it's a chore. No, I could be working in a fucking coal mine 40 years ago or a steel mill or something like that. Like to be able to do this is a joy. And I think if you bring that joy, then God will bless you. But what do I know? I'm just some guy to be talking on YouTube, you know?
Okay. Anything else that you would like to cover before we head out for this week?
Shout out to my babies. Anyone I've ever encountered. Shout out to everybody in Red Panda. I'll see you in Houston this weekend.
H-Town. Houston. Yeah. What up?
It's hot as hell.
Oh, Houston is baking.
Oh my God.
Houston. Global warming.
Yeah. So if she ate a little bit of bacon, it's over with. Just a piece. You in Turks? Y'all went to what's the little pig restaurant? You can go get the little piglet out there, lay in a clear cabana thing on the water, and then I just want a little piece.
The piglet is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
A piglet is crazy. Or at least have enough courtesy not to do it in front of me, right?
Yeah, she got to sneak and eat the bacon.
You don't know what somebody's doing when you're not around. But I will say this. If they're doing it in front of you, they don't even care. They don't care, right? At least
what if they just be honest?
Well, that's a deal breaker.
You'll break up with your girl over some bacon, one little sliver.
It speaks to more than just the diet.
Got you. I agree. Go ahead, preach, sir. Collection plate. What a collection plate. Come on. It's a reflection. Yep. It's not just that one thing.
How you do? That's why I tell my son this all the time, right? Yeah. Because he has a habit of like he forgets his coat. He doesn't tie his sneakers when he plays basketball.
I tell Xander the same thing. One day it's gonna be the passport, and we're stuck in the airport.
How you do one thing is how you do everything.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's a direct correlation. The little things add up to big things.
I agree.
Nip it in the butt early. Nip it in the butt early.
For real. See, I be sounding like a dictator when I say mine. The tonality, you good. It's not about bacon. It's about your health, but it's a reflection of other things. Oh boy, you good, yo. Amazing. Oh my God. You can speak the truth, the tone matters. Got you. So I heard that Andrew Schultz said that Boeing has had some crashes. So if Roland, we need you on. We need you on. Tonality matters. Oh, my final question. This was a big one when I posted. Ladies, put it in chat. How do men create a safe space for women in a relationship? It's a great feedback. A lot of men don't know how to create safe spaces for women. So, ladies, guide the men today.
The safe space.
Yeah, men need to have April come back on.
A villa in Turks and Caicos.
But
that's
like, it's not only the material. Don't you hate when they're like, just because you got a little bit of money doesn't mean you can do what you want to do? It ain't little, but okay.
Having money's not everything. Not having it is.
It's for real. But we have to create an emotional safe space outside.
An emotional safe space.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. For sure.
A lot of this shit go away too if you just pick the right person. Like some people send these questions, and I'm like, she just don't fuck with you, bro.
Yeah. The like, safest place. Shout out to Edwin. He posted something where he was like, the key to a woman's heart is a plane ticket and food on an island. Like that's a fact. That's a
My
fact.
boy Edwin been going crazy. He took my whole playbook. I'm telling you, hey fellas, get to the little resort, take the picture. I wish you was here with me. Oh, with the deep voice.
I wish she was here with me.
You should
book the flight. Book the flight, Ian. Have you booked the
maybe
flight yet?
highly probable. Give me about 24 hours. We may have to do a live update. I was on Expedia looking last night like, are you not back together anymore? I mean, I would love to see you.
That's the safest space that you can create. It's called vacation.
Life's a vacation. Life's a beach.
Life's a vacation.
For real. But what do I know? I'm vibes this summer though.
Summertime.
Yeah,
here.
summertime. Summertime gonna be a good time.
You got it.
Right in time. Latan, Eat, Pray, Love, Jay Shetty, 8 Rules of Love. Oh my God. Come on. That Bad Boys movie was up. Jay was in there. Who else was in there? Jordan Lucas. There was a few
Jay Shetty was in the Bad Boys movie? I gotta watch that. I haven't watched it yet. I
worked their relationship well. I said, oh, okay.
I heard it was dope though. Shout out to Will and Martin.
Yeah. Steve Harvey, if you do another Think Like a Man movie, me, Rashad, and Troy, we need some guest spots.
Mando.
You gotta ask for what you want. Come on.
Mando. Mandatory. Mandatory. We can play ourselves. Blackout.
Can we do some blackout restaurant tours?
Restaurants?
Maybe Miami, New York, LA or something.
What you mean?
Or Toronto. You know, little vibes.
Oh, like a show at a restaurant or intimate crowd?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Intimate crowd.
Yeah.
One night only.
Yeah.
It's like a comedy show.
Yeah, you know, just pop in real quick. Yeah. Oh, we can do one big one. It don't matter.
Intimate settings. I like that.
Before Putin set off that damn missile in Cuba.
Facts.
I make a poppy steak one more time, real quick.
Facts.
Pop in and out. Terrence J, get the boat. Terrence J be on the got every shot. Terrence J, yo.
Terrence J.
When they make this announcement, get your vendor booths. When they make this announcement, it's over with. I'm telling you, I ain't putting no extras on it. I'm giving y'all notice. Don't hit me or AB or Mike or Smalls, Paulie, nobody. Don't hit nobody. Yo, what happened? I don't know. I told you before they made the damn announcement.
Napalm ball.
And he gonna talk the talk, yo. Like,
man.
What a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive.
Be alive, hey. You and yours versus me and mine. Boy.
I have the style on me. I got the style on me.
Shout out to the boy Drake. Drop some more music. That Hey Guan Delilah wasn't it, my boy. But you
Drizzy.
My guy.
Drizzy.
Shout out to Chubbs. TV Gucci. Yeah.
Team OVO. Team OVO.
Big facts.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been real. Blackout hour has concluded. Love.